fucking metal show. Welcome to Big Pete's fucking metal show.
Welcome back to Big Pete's Metal Show, and today I'm going to be doing my first top 10. We're going to be discussing the top 10 albums of 2016. And, of course, a few honorable mentions because I'm not going to be able to fit them all in there. I'll also cover my least favorite album of 2016 as well. The worst one. And I got a few choice words about that one. So let's get in this bitch. Number 10, we got Suicidal Tendencies, World Gone Mad. Now this is a classic Suicidal Tendencies album. It's not anything groundbreaking, but it's just classic Suicidal for you. You got a couple longer tracks on this album. Still Dying to Live, track 10. It reaches the 7.5 minute mark, which is something Suicidal Tendencies songs don't usually eclipse. It's classic Suicidal Tendencies. It's their 12th album, I believe. It's just a fantastic album. Comes in at number 10 on my list. Number 9, we got Amon Amarth and Jomsviking. Now, Amon Amarth is a band I fucking love, and every single one of their albums are phenomenal. This would probably be a little higher on the list, but the thing is, there's something a little off about this album. Maybe it's the fact that it's a concept album. Maybe it's the fact I didn't really like the song they did with Doro. I mean, it was okay. It's still a great album. I'm just saying it's not like an insane stellar masterpiece like some of their past works. So Amon Amarth makes it to number 9 in my list. Number 8, we have Decision Day by Sodom. This is Sodom's 15th album, released last August, and it's fucking killer. Okay, there's some songs in here like track 7, Vaginal Born Evil, where it's not only evil and it's not only thrashy as fuck, but it's catchy as fuck. I just been singing this like ever since I've heard it. Vaginal Born Evil. Fucking Tom Angel Ripper. He's a fucking his vocals in this album are fucking fantastic. The riffs are fucking out of this world to die for, and this is an 11-track affair, and it's fucking holy shit. It's good. It's great. You need to fucking penetrate your ear pussies as soon as you can. Number 7 is The Evil Divide by Death Angel. This fucking album, another classic thrash piece out of 2016. You got 10 tracks, it's about 45 minutes. This album shows that Death Angel is still a force to be reckoned with. This is their 8th album. They had a very long time period off. Their first 3 albums are considered classics. This is a modern day classic. It's fucking incredible. So with songs like the Moth that opens up this album, it's just, the riffs are to die for, and it's just incredible. It's an incredible piece of thrash. You need this in your life.
You real metalheads. I'm a real metalhead. I don't listen to that.
We have, for all you
Real metalheads who don't listen to Korn. Korn's not real metal.
I have The Serenity of Suffering by Korn at number 6. And I know, there's a lot of you like Korn, but there's a lot of you that fucking hate Korn, and I don't fucking get it. But anyway, this album is a return to their roots. This sounds like it was straight out of in between Korn's self-titled and Life is Peachy. It's fucking brutal, it's heavy, they stop experimenting with that electro shit like they've been doing the past few albums, and it's just a return to their roots. And this album it's fucking great. It's a great piece of 2016 new metal. It's a Korn instant classic. It's just so many good things I have to say about this album. And I rank this so high on the mid half of the list because Korn is one of my first bands, along with Metallica and Megadeth, to get me into metal. So Korn's Serenity of Suffering, number 6. We got Megadeth Dystopia for number 5. Now, this ranks a little bit higher on the list because their last album, Super Collider, sucked dick. Okay, let's not sugarcoat that monster. It was terrible. There was a couple good tracks, but for the most part, it was pretty shitty. It was like hard rock. Come on, fucking Dave Mustaine, you're thrash. You're like the original fucking thrash dude. Anyway, Dystopia, the songs are in the riffs are incredible. They won a Grammy for fuck's sake. Okay, it was that good. 12 times been nominated, finally won a Grammy. This is their 15th album, released way in the beginning of last year. Over a year ago, actually. This was January 2016. But it's still good as shit. Great album. Number 4, an undisputed thrash legend shits out a glorious piece at the end of last year. That would be Testament with Brotherhood of the Snake. Now, there's a couple songs on here that I think were a little different. You know, it could have been a little better, but for the most part, this album was just like blow your balls off constantly. 45 minutes, 10 tracks. It's a fantastic album. I don't like it as much as Dark Roots of Earth, because Dark Roots of Earth was my first Testament album, but this is a very, very solid follow-up. I love it. You need this to penetrate your ear pussies as well. It's good, classic, modern-day thrash. Mwah. Number 3 is a band that seems to get forgotten about a lot. And you only remember them because that's where Jason Newsted came from. And what band would I be talking about? Drum roll, please. Flotsam and Jetsam. This is a band who has been around for 30 years now and released their 12th album. Self-titled, the first self-titled album in their discography. This is return to thrash. The past few albums they put out were more progressive metal. They were good. They were fucking great. But this is classic thrash. It brings back to like the Doomsday for the Deceiver type of era, which is another one of my favorite albums of all time. This is climbing up there. You got 10 tracks, and there's some songs like you need to listen to Iron Maiden or Taser or Life is a Mess. Oh my god. This band gets overlooked and underrated criminally. Holy shit. This is a fantastic album. You need this in your life if you like metal. That's all I'm going to say about this. This makes it number 3. Flotsam and Jetsam self-titled. Number 2, Anthrax, For All Kings. This album was holy shit. I'm not exactly sure what about it was about this album, but it was so good. When I first got this, back when it came out February last year, I couldn't stop listening to it. Anthrax's new work, since they've gotten back with Belladonna in this decade, it's been few and far between, with five years gap between the last album, but it's been worth it because it's been solid, great thrash. This is an album that just blew my balls off and reattached them to my nipples. Okay, you need this album in your life. You need it. You just fucking need it, okay? Before I unveil my obvious number 1 pick, let me go over a few honorable mentions. Rob Zombie's the insanely titled Electric Warlock Acid Witch Satanic Orgy Celebration Dispenser. This is a very short album. It's weird as fuck, but that's Rob Zombie, so you come to expect that. This is only 31 minutes and at 12 tracks. Yeah, it's kind of like Rain and Blood type of length, but it's good, and it's weird, and I liked it. Superjoint, caught up in the gears of application, another honorable mention. I love Phil Anselmo. He's one of my idols, and of course I couldn't not mention this after the fucking Superjoint being inactive for 13 years. Great return to form. Avenged Sevenfold, The Stage. This album I did enjoy. It was very progressive. A lot progressive. It feels like they listened to a shit ton of Dream Theater before recording this. This is a good album. Okay, with like tracks 11 exceeding 15 minutes. It's crazy. It's good. Some of it's a little out there, not what they should be doing, but for the most part, it's a pretty solid album. Metal Church XI, Roman numerals 11. How can I not mention this when Mike Howe returns on vocals after fucking 23 years? Fantastic album. Great piece of metal. Texas Hippie Coalition. Now this is a band that you should familiarize yourself with if you're not already. This is the Dark Side of Black. It's their 5th album. It's pretty much all black. Hell, I wonder where you got that from. Of course, last honorable mention, which almost made it onto the list, but I decided to put Suicidal on instead, would be Destruction Under Attack. Great piece of thrash. Highly suggest you check this out. Better than their last few albums, in my opinion. But it's my fucking opinion. Not everyone's going to agree with it. Now, one last piece of business before I get to number 1 is the worst album of 2016, in my opinion. The worst album of 2016, Volbeat. Seal the Deal and Let's Boogie. Now, this is a band where their earlier career, they put out some really good albums. Their first 3-4 albums were really solid. 2013's album was a little weaker and it was a little more mainstream pandering. This is very mainstream pandering. This is 13 tracks and I only enjoyed 2 of these. 2, maybe 3. This is a really upsetting album. I mean, in like track 3, you have a breakdown fucking beat with a banjo. What? What the fuck are you doing? Come on, get a hold of yourself. Go back to some of the original fucking, like, the strength, the songs, the sound, whatever, the first album. Make an album like that. That album was fucking killer. This one sucks dick. Number 1, I might get shit for this because Metallica, and you metal community like to rip them a new one, but Metallica is my personal favorite band of all time, okay? So, of course, Hardwired to Self-Destruct is going to make it on my number 1 list. Now, in sales-wise, this is definitely the number 1 metal album. This fucking sold through the roof. This is their first album in 8 years since Death Magnetic in 2008. Okay? So, it was no wonder this was going to be the fucking top album of 2016. Whenever Metallica does something new nowadays, it's fucking number 1 automatically. Okay? Now, one thing I don't get about this album is, like, it equals up to about 77 minutes, and you can fit that all on 1 disc, but they decided to go fucking 2 discs instead. And, of course, I got the 3rd disc bonus edition. That's a whole live set and some of their covers. Okay, tracks like Hardwired and Spit Out the Bone are like classic 80s thrash. The rest of the album might be a little different, but holy fuck, is it good. This is an album I just can't say enough about. It can speak for itself. Metallica, number 1. No shit, they're going to be number 1. Spit Out the Bone, I think, really makes this album. It really closes it off and fucking rips your nutsack off one last time. It fucking fills your ear pussy with its glorious seed. Oh, this is a fantastic album. I love it. Well, this is my first top 10 list on the metal show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're even fucking watching it, probably no one. Haha. Anyway, I do these to entertain myself. This has been Big Pete's Metal Show. And I'll see you next time from my mother's basement.